Right, so the other day I got some more of my electrical components I need to do the electric power steering in the 48. Got this nifty little control knob and this nifty little box that plugs into the ECU of the electric power steering assist unit. And this is some of the magical leprechaun stuff that makes that thing work. The ECU wants information from the car as far as speed and all that good stuff. Well, there's none of that to give it any information. So this nifty little box fools it into thinking that there is information coming in. And then you got a little control knob where you can adjust how much assist you get. If you have it all the way down, you won't get hardly any assist at all. Or you can turn it up and get the full potential of the assist. And being in this truck, that's probably what it's going to be most of the time. Just have to play with it and see once I get it all hooked up. But this comes with very good instructions. Tells you step by step what needs to go where. And then as far as hooking it up, you've got a red and a black wire. The black is ground, of course. The red is for positive, and that needs to go to a keyed or switched positive. You don't want that to be on all the time. So I'm just going to do a simple little toggle switch. Turn the toggle switch on, and the electric assist is on. And then these other wires, the yellow and the gray, you just hook them to the yellow and gray of the little control switch. So very simple on that side. I already have the power assist, and I can't really tell in here, but the power assist itself, on the control module, there is a power lead and a negative lead that you have to hook up there. The power lead goes straight to the battery. I took mine straight to the back of the alternator because it was the closest run, because my battery is all the way back there. And then, of course, down to a chassis ground, and that needs to be fused. 30 amp, 60 amp. There's kind of varying on. I'm going to put a 30 amp in because I'd rather blow a fuse than tear something else up. So yeah, that control box has the power lead going straight to the battery, and then you have a ground lead going straight to the ground. And then the only thing else that's left is to hook up this part right here. And I'm going to figure out where I want to put this little control and put my little toggle switch. Get that all figured out. And we'll get that part hooked up. So I'm getting closer. I have got the other U-joint ordered to connect my steering shaft coming out of here. This is the U-joint from the assist motor, and this is the shaft for my steering gearbox. So I need a U-joint to put here, and then I'll put a piece of steering rod in here. I'm probably going to cut this back just a little more down here and get that U-joint a little further away. But yeah, we're getting really close to hopefully having this thing have some power steering in it. And it's going to be for a lot less than getting a power steering box and putting on, and a power steering pump and brackets and hoses. And hopefully, if everything works like it's supposed to, it'll be power steering or electric assist steering for a lot less than what doing the whole manual power steering unit and all that good stuff. I kind of crunched the numbers. I can put the power steering on here by getting the steering gearbox, the hoses and pump and all that good stuff. Just in parts alone, I was looking at about $1,200. Then, of course, the time to do all that. So far right now, into this electric steering assist assembly, it only cost me $75 on eBay. You can get more expensive ones that come with more stuff, like your steering shaft and wire connectors. And I probably should have done that, hindsight being 2020, but I was able to get everything else I needed anyway. So with the steering assembly at 75, I'm probably going to have about $50 roughly in steering U-joints. So there's, 100 and a quarter. And I'm trying to think what else I've really spent. Some wire. I'm probably going to be at the most about $200 into this. And then, of course, my time fabricating. I had scrap steel laying around that I was able to fabricate my mount with. So I think in the long run, as long as everything works like it's supposed to, and I think it will. If not, I've wasted more money on stupider stuff. So it's not going to be that big a deal. But anyway, I'm going to try and get things wired up, figure out where I want stuff under the dash, and I'll catch back up with you. All right. So I finally have my other U-joint piece that I need for my steering shaft. And so the goal today is to try and get the rest of that all hooked up underneath and inside the engine compartment. So I got to connect the U-joint from the steering box inside to the steering shaft on the steering box. So I know I'm going to have to cut this shaft down just a little more, because I need just a little more room. That's great. There it is. Wow, look at that. Because I need just a little more room to connect those two together. So I'm going to have to come back down in here a little bit. I think what I will do is I will cut this down just a little more. And then I'll cut this down to about in there. And that will put that right about in there. And then that'll give me just a little stub of shaft that I need to put together for right there. I did also get the other day, I had, when I last left off, I had all the wiring components I needed. I did get that all done. I had to make a little bracket. So we have a little bracket here. I can get a good angle, there we go. I made this little bracket, some leftover aluminum. So this switch turns the steering gearbox on, and in this switch is a little deal that controls how much power that steering box gives your steering. So with it all the way off to the left, it doesn't give you any assistance whatsoever, and then you can crank it all the way up and it will give you the most assistance it possibly can, and then you can dial it back somewhere in the middle. So when you get it in the truck, turn the ignition switch on, fire the truck up, then you'll click this on, then you hear a little click, and that will power up the steering gearbox, and you can crank it up and adjust it, and then hopefully everything will work like it's supposed to. So the plan for today, I got that all done. The plan for today is to work on trying to get that steering shaft connected. So let me work on getting that done. Alright, so I finally have everything done. I got my U-joints all put in here. What I did, this U-joint that I ordered is a 3/4 by 3/4 double D shaft on each end. So it's 3/4 inch double D steering shaft on both ends is what I should say. And what I did is I took my 3/4 inch solid steering shaft that was perfectly round, and I ground it into a 3/4 inch double D shaft. So it's flattened out on two sides, and then this U-joint slides on each piece. And then you have these set screws that lock everything in place. This is the U-joint that attaches to the splined shaft on the electric steering box. And you can order these with the 3/4 inch double D shaft on this end, which is what I should have done. But I ordered it with a 3/4 inch round. So what I did was I just drilled a 1/4 inch hole through both pieces and put a grade 8 bolt in. And I can, if I want to, I can put some welds on this shaft and that U-joint both if I want to. So that's all done out here now. I still need to make me some sort of rubber boot or seal to put around that. And then on the inside, I've got everything done in here. I'll have to set my steering wheel. Once I drive this down the road, get everything kind of lined out nice and straight, I can adjust my steering wheel. Luckily on these trucks, the steering wheel does not have a master spline. So you can take the steering wheel off and rotate it a few splines, whichever direction you need to get it to line up nice and straight. So what we have is we have our, get this out of the way here. This is my mount. This is the potentiometer that tells the computer or the ECU down here on that electric motor assembly how much assistance to give when you're trying to turn the wheel. This is my main switch to turn it all on and off. You can have it keyed in to your ignition switch, but I didn't want to do that. I just put it on a regular toggle switch so I can turn it on and off like that. You can still drive and steer this truck like normal without that box altogether, but it is very difficult to turn, and that's just normal how these trucks are. So someone asked, why was I doing all this? Well, I'll show you why. Turn that switch on, let it all get set up, and then it was about all I could do to turn the wheel before, but now, oops, I can, alright, maybe I got this set up now. Now, I should be able to turn this. I can turn that with one finger almost. So that is the reason why I did all this. It's cheaper than trying to put a regular power steering pump on, and it works just as well. So that's the reason why. So pretty much the electric steering's pretty well done. I think I have some adjustments I need to do. There is, let's see here. There is inside this box, there is a control that you can adjust. If you're having troubles with it steering easier one way than the other, there is a torque sensor in there that you can adjust to help even that out. So I think I'm going to have to do that a little bit. I'm having a little trouble with it, wanting to kind of cinch up a little bit. But we'll get to that. I'll just do a whole separate video on that part probably. But for now, I think we're going to call this done. Just a little bit of tidying up to do, and I think we'll call her it.